video. Okay, well, this is section 8.1. This is problem number 1. This is inverse trig. Previously, you've been given like the sine of an angle and you were looking for a relationship. Now you're going to be given inverse sine of the relationship and you'll be looking for the angle. Goes back and forth. The little -1 means the inverse. Sometimes you will see it written as, instead of sine inverse of x, it will be written as arc sine or arc cosine or whichever trig function that is there. Keep in mind that these are more limited because you don't want so many answers and so forth. So your arc sine or your inverse sine's domain is between -1 and 1. Remember, that was the range of the sine. You're kind of reversing them. These are pretty much the reverse of what the functions range was. The domain there kind of goes into the range, but we do limit the arc sine. We limit it from -π/2 to +π/2. That's arc sine, arc tangent, and arc cosecant will be like fourth quadrant and first quadrant. Arc cosine, arc cotangent, and arc secant are first and second. They will move around that way. We don't really use this quadrant at all much. Occasionally something will fall, but then you'll have to reverse it back. So you're primarily using 2 quadrants at a time with your inverse trig. Okay, this is to find the exact value of the following expression. Well, inverse sine, with sine being negative, is going to be over here in the 4th quadrant. So once you determine where it is located, and you can restate it if you want to, and you want to know what trig function has a sine value of -√3/2. Has to be between -π/2 and +π/2. It's a 4th quadrant angle. The reference angle that gives you this that gives you the √3/2 is 60 or π/3, but they want the negative one. So this would have to be a -60 if we were talking degrees, but this is in radians, so it would be -π/3. That is the answer. Sine of -π/3 is negative the √3/2. Therefore, inverse sine of -√3/2 is equal to -π/3. Negative π/3 is the answer.